next item on the agenda. Sorry, we've already discussed the paving of the parking lots. Now, we have the next item on the agenda is publication of Floodplain Manager OES Director position. I think maybe Bo should be
People in there. The item that where we're at on the agenda is publication of Floodplain Manager OES Director position. I believe, Bo, that you had recommended that the two positions be combined. Is that correct?
That's how it's typically run within the state of West Virginia. I'm not sure, Tyler County runs that way, Wood County did, Wood County does, numerous other counties in the region do as well. So that's a pretty standard methodology of executing and combining the two offices. Usually it's the OES director is the primary position, with the floodplain administrator, other duties as assigned.
The other thing to consider in this is if we advertise for a part-time individual, what we see is people are not interested in taking a job where they're working part-time and moving to the county. And I understand that. It's not that I'm being critical or negative. It's just a fact of life. And so that's my thought. In addition, then if we had a full-time, they would be on board and here serving in the county most of the time. And so that's my thoughts. Mr. Sandor, do you have any thoughts on the matter?
My thoughts are that I think it's going to be a hard job to fill. I think it's going to be very, very difficult to find somebody to do both of those positions together. That's my thoughts. And I guess I could say something about the letter we received. I think I read something in there about our ordinance. I didn't get to read the whole thing, but something about our floodplain ordinance. We're not following that. If we do combine these two jobs, I think that our assistant prosecutor needs to help us on this matter before we make a decision.
I'm waiting for Betsy to tell us an answer.
I mean, I haven't seen the ordinance.
Okay.
And I don't know if the information in the letter that was sent is accurate. I just received it this morning, so I'll have to do the research on that before
I would like to see him combine into one if we could. That's my personal thing.
I'll look at it.
Okay, thanks.
The problem, and I would assume, now, that's, I know, taking a great leap there, that it may not say that, but it may not prohibit that either. It just doesn't address the possibility. But if you don't, if it's not in violation of the ordinance, then, and I would assume to be in violation, it would have to state that it had to be a separate position. But here's the problem. Bo originally indicated that he would be here until July 15th. Now he's indicating that probably June 1st. And so, just like, I mean, I agree with Mr. Sandora that it's going to be a difficult position to fill. And if you all remember, it was difficult the last time, and the ethics committee got involved, and so there's probably not too many people in the county who would want to be. So we're looking at a problem. Not only that, but we're looking at a timing problem. And personally, I mean, I will fulfill the duties of the president of the county commission, but I'm not real enthused about being the floodplain manager, the acting floodplain manager. So we have a timing problem, and I would like to see us come up with some way that we can get this advertised. We already have less than a month. I don't know. Does anybody have any possible solutions?
I don't.
Tammy's got anything there, she does.
Before, whenever we had a break, Mr. Sneed assisted Butch and assisted those who were putting it through. I attended that 7-hour meeting where most of this ordinance was hashed out. The reason the jobs were separated at that point in time is that, and made a part-time job, is it was felt that an engineer, which I believe is on that list, or a licensed surveyor would be more willing to work at a part-time so they can continue to feel, because most of the engineers or the surveyors have other businesses, has their own personal business. They would work their work around the work here. But the attorneys talked about it. Butch was at the meeting. He sat through that 7-hour nightmare. They felt that it would be better to split it off, and then that way, your floodplain coordinator did not have to live in in Doddridge County. For the floodplain or the OES director, that would leave the position open for someone here in county who would already be here and be familiar with here.
Well, my question is, if we post this position and go against our floodplain ordinance, what's going to happen? That's my
Well,
concern.
the thing of it is, Butch, is that our ordinance was written, you know what all we went through, okay? Wood County's ordinance and all these other counties' ordinance are not nearly as focused towards the floodplain. They're focused towards the OES.
Yeah.
So,
So we have to go through a major ordeal to change the ordinance. I understand that.
Well, we're not sure of that.
We're not sure, no. That's why I'm treading lightly here. I'm not jumping in.
I believe you find your OES director's position in actual law, in the actual West Virginia Code, job description for it.
Yeah, I was waiting. But that's okay. Want to marry on?
Is the question I have is, if you advertise this and you combine the two positions, does that mean that Mr. Riston will stay and fulfill both jobs and Pat Houston might potentially be dismissed from the position that he's in?
No, that's not my understanding. My understanding is Mr. Riston has another position that he's going to assume.
Thank you.
I know since I've been on board, one of the major complaints that I've had is that I am only here 1 to 2 days a week, that it is a part-time position. So while it may have been established as a part-time position based on the justification that Stephen gave, that has since become an issue within the county. With folks very upset that the floodplain administrator is only here part-time. So it could be time for a change and to make that a full-time permanent position.
Well, as I have indicated, it's easier to fill a full-time position than a part-time. Mariana?
In response to Mr. Riston's comment, and maybe perhaps because he's not been very responsive to certain people when they've pointed out issues or asked questions either via email or via telephone messages that are left at the clerk's office or on the cell phone that he has in a lot of his emails. I've gone through this process numerous times, and my frustration has been with the lack of response when I point out situations, and it's kind of the amount of damage that can occur. Like, if somebody's building in the floodplain or doing work in the floodplain, and the response time, I mean, it seems like Mr. Riston's schedule has not been, you can't depend on him being here Mondays and Tuesdays or Thursdays or Friday. So if there was some kind of an indication that something was set, it might provide less frustration for county residents. Dan also worked part-time, and it never appeared to be an issue because when he was contacted, he would tend to get back to you. Dan was in the position for what, a year and a half or something along those lines?
I don't think it was that long, but go ahead.
So, if there's a set schedule and the set schedule is followed, why would it present an issue?
Well,
I understand what you're saying, but
I guess my response to that, and you speak of a level of frustration. Do you think that only county residents are subject to that level of frustration, or do you think that that it can be experienced by public officials, that level of frustration?
Do you expect me, do you want me to answer that?
Not really. I was just pointing that out. And I guess my comment would be, and it's an old saying, you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar, and I will just leave it at that. And
I do have one question. You indicated earlier there's no correspondence, and now you're talking about a letter. What letter?
that was a letter sent to us. It was sent on my private email. It was a letter from the surface right owner's attorney, which I am sure, and probably I shouldn't make this comment, but I'm sure that you already have a copy of it, so. But it's available. Betsy, have you had any time to quickly review? And I understand it's a quick review, and
Yeah.
I hate to put you on the spot like this.
There's a description of the position in the statute or in the ordinance twice. My reading of the description, it's in the definition section and then it's in the actual subsection talking about the floodplain administrator. It says what the qualifications are. It does not designate that it's a part-time or full-time, or that it can't be a dual position or anything else. There's nothing in the major sections of the ordinance that would indicate that there would be a bar to that at all.
Okay, so if I'm understanding you correctly, then we could advertise for a combined, in your opinion, initial opinion.
Yes.
Real quick search, I found 5 West Virginia counties that have combined policies.
Okay.
So five,
Okay,
five
So-
out of 55?
sure.
I'm not saying this in defense of anyone or criticizing anyone, I'm just making an observation. When Mr. Wellings was here, there were many times that people could not get a hold of him. He did not respond to emails, he did not respond to phone calls. He would be gone for 2 weeks at a time and he wouldn't have an idea where he was. So, and that's not criticizing Mr. Wellings, but he was part-time, just as Bo is. And there was times we could not get a hold of him. He did not even return our phone calls. So this is not, I mean, he was part-time, just as Bo was. He had no set schedule.
So, do you have anything further?
If she says it's okay, we'll stay out of trouble, that's fine, but I just want to clarify.
Do I have a motion that we publish the position of floodplain manager / OES director?
I'll make some motion, we approve the application for floodplain manager and OES director.
Okay, we have a motion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.